What are the best cars that you can use in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown? Now obviously this varies depending on the class, but today we're going to go over all of the different classes in the game and I'll tell you what the best ones are to use in each one. So going from technically the slowest all the way up to the best, let's go into the daily driver category. Now I'm sure a lot of you probably already know this, but the 2017 Audi TT RS is easily the best daily driver's car. You can pick this up from the German cars dealership just by the street HQ, and it's as little as 305,000 solar coins if you get it in just all the basic stuff. One thing you will notice throughout this video is pretty much every single car that I use will be all-wheel drive opposed to rear-wheel drive, and that's because at the moment in the game, if you use a rear-wheel drive car, on the most part they're just not as competitive, and in race events if you come up against a all-wheel drive car you're gonna probably lose, which again depends on the car and you'll figure out why when we get later on in the video. But the Audi TT RS, obviously four-wheel drive, not only is it great in the daily driver category, but any events that also mix in daily drivers with, I believe, grand touring cars, the Audi TT is still very competitive and it pretty much dominates those events as well. And you'll also get events that you can put off-road tires on to use in cross-country events. You can just use a cross-country car if you want to, but for that bit of, you know, extra speed potentially, I would recommend just using the Audi TT and chucking some off-road tires on it, because it's actually very good off-road. Up next is cross-country, and I've included two cars in here. If any of you have the gold edition, I would recommend using the Range Rover SVR. You actually get given this for having the gold edition. I can't remember what rank it is. It's either rank 12 or rank 20. Pretty sure it's probably rank 12, but this is very good for cross-country race events. It's got great power, it's got great tuning that you can do to it. But when it comes to the Range Rover, I use this for pretty much every single one of my cross-country race events until I got to the late game, as I'm sure many of you will know the next car, which is something that everyone can buy, and I would definitely recommend it if you want an insane off-road car. And that, of course, is the buggy. I'm sure many of you have seen this in any of your cross-country events and seen how outright overpowered it is. It's very, very fast. It is rear-wheel drive, which is nice. It actually makes a change that we've got a rear-wheel drive vehicle in here. I started using this in the end game because so many of my race events actually had this in, and it's not too expensive either. It's about 200,000 or just over from the off-road dealership. I don't even know how you pronounce it. It's like the Cientero Rianita, something like that. Probably butchered it. The Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo is easily the best grand touring car within Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown at the moment. And before I had this, I was using the Mercedes AMG SLS, I believe it was, and I was struggling, especially in events where it was raining. I was all over the place. I used to lose a few events as I have a major skill issue there. And another handy thing with it being all-wheel drive and just quick overall is you can equip off-road tires, and there are a few grand touring race events that require you to have off-road tires on. If you can afford this car, I definitely recommend getting it. It is 1.2 million, so it is quite expensive, but by the time you get to the grand touring category, you should have enough. Of course, you don't have to use it and you can just use whatever you want, but if you are struggling, I would definitely recommend using this. Supercars are up next. I've actually got a few different options for these. The first two are going to be great for street racing. Technically, the third one as well, as it's the quickest car in the game. Spoiler alert. And the fourth one is great for off-road events. Starting off, when you get to buy a supercar later on in the game, I'd recommend going for either the Lamborghini Huracan Performante or the Aventador SVJ. I've used both of these a lot within Test Drive and I really like both of them. Obviously all-round great cars for race events, and you can upgrade them to quite a lot as well. So I believe this one at the moment is over 1,000 like points, and the same with my SVJ as well. That's also over 1,000. Both of them are very quick. I've absolutely dominated everyone in this event. Yeah, they're AI of course, but still 1 minute 20, get that event done. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, you can go much faster with the car that I'm about to show you on the leaderboards, which there you go. The 2017 Ferrari 812 Superfast is, of course, on the leaderboards because it is insanely quick. Now, when it comes to using the 812 Superfast, I would recommend only using it in events where it's not raining and also dry on the road, because some events, although there isn't rain, it's still, you know, wet on the road. this will go all over the place as it's rear-wheel drive and stupidly quick. The top speed I've been in this was about 360 miles an hour. So if you want a car that will just dominate every supercar event, this will be it. I believe it's also around 2 million to buy. How much was the super fast? Yeah, 2.5 million. So it will set you back a bit. Again, when you get up to this supercar category, you'll be able to at least afford one car. So you can treat yourself to that, or the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, or the Aventador SVJ, or you could just completely ignore me and buy whatever car you want. Because to be honest, a lot of supercars are viable. Now for the fourth one, it's something that you'd want to use in off-road events, is the Nissan GTR. This is easily my favorite supercar that I've used for off-road race events. I did buy this originally as my first supercar. It cost me about 850,000 from the Pearls of Asia dealership, and I thought this would be a good one to start off with. Turned out I was incredibly wrong. It was all right in race events, but for normal road events, you're much better off using either of the Lamborghinis that I mentioned. If you get any off-road events, you can still use the Performante with off-road tires, but I found that this is by far the better option, as you can put a few more upgrades into it with the off-road tires compared to the Lamborghini. So definitely check it out if you want to, and it's not overly expensive. I say that it's still 800,000, but yeah, if you've got a bit of spare cash, it's worth it. Finally, onto hypercars. I should have selected this as my first ever hypercar instead of the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport. This is what I went with before, and you know, it's still very good, but man, I missed out on getting the 918 Spider. This is about 4.5 million from the German performance dealership. This is fully upgraded, by the way, 2,762 brake horsepower, top speed of 416 miles an hour. Look at the acceleration, just look at it. Because it's a hybrid, it obviously has the bit of boost as well. Man, I mean, it's actually quite hard to control sometimes. Even with traction control on, it can slide around a bit. But the fact that we're, you know, almost at 300 miles an hour on that bit of road there we go, it's up to 300 and it keeps climbing. Top speed I've reached in this is 360, I believe, and it's already reaching up to 330 just in this race event. I'm still mad that I bought the Bugatti over this when I bought my first hypercar. Don't get me wrong, the Bugatti's still good and I still like it, but the 918 Spider is definitely the option to go with if you want to just dominate every single hypercar event. These are the best cars that you can use within Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, as I almost throw it on that corner there. Of course, you don't have to use them. You can, you know, buy whatever car you want in the game. You don't have to use these cars. But if you do find yourself struggling in some of the race events, or you just want to maybe set some leaderboard times, then definitely look into all of the cars I've listed here. And there might even be some cars that I've not even listed at all, which are maybe even better than some of the ones that I've gone over. As always, thank you for watching. Drop a like rating down below and check out my channel, as I have a ultimate money guide that I uploaded recently. So if you're looking to earn some more money in the game, that is the perfect video for you.